back to the CA Channel's Breakfast Show. We were looking at stories that were lucky enough to make it on the front pages of the national dailies. We're having a look at the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Minimum wage. National Assembly leaders step in as Attorney General of the Federation declares labor strike illegal. We won't accept starvation wage. That one is coming from the NLC president to the Senate president, Godswill Akpabio, and the House of Rep Speaker Abbas. As Labour insists on total shutdown of schools, banks, government offices, electricity. Mistakes of several decades can't be repaired in one day, Reps Speaker. WAEC writes school principals says exams will continue as scheduled. Okay, that's on page 3. Moving on to page 11 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Ayedatiwa rolls out electricity meters, prices, direct BEDC, others to stop estimated bill. Okay, that's a very welcome development there on the issue of electricity. Estimated bill is, for me, it is daylight robbery.
Lagos have done this before, where they rolled out meters. But the thing is that people will, some personnel will still try to extort people, and at the end of the day, this thing will land in the hands of few.
Even President Bola Ahmed Tinubu recently gave an order concerning meters as well. The thing is, we just have a lot of individuals that are benefiting from the fact that there are systems in Nigeria that are not working.
That is not balanced.
So it is understandable when we see some difficulties on the side of the government. It's understandable when we get when Nigerians complain that the federal government is not doing much, or the federal government is not doing this or not doing that. It is very understandable and it's very easy to say. But the truth also is that we have grown as a nation to a certain point where we now have individuals that are more powerful than government.
See, just put it straight that Nigerians are very, very good to blame the federal government, but they find it difficult to recognize their own obligations to their own country. It's not a one-way thing. We envy other clients today, not because the government is that superb, but because the citizens also are intentional. Don't do this, they try to abide. That does not mean we don't have bad eggs amongst them too, but majority of them wants to keep. There were times in Nigeria where people were more patriotic, they were more obedient, and we didn't have the issue of trust. You know that you are not supposed to do this. I was on radio this morning, a lot of people were complaining. The government did not come to clear their drainages, the government did not come to do this. Some people mentioned some streets that I am very, very I know those streets. I know how people live recklessly, or even though those streets it's more like a responsibility of the local government, but there are drainages around that side. People will finish eating and they intentionally go to the drainage and put all sort of things that will block it up. And you want the government, okay, and they have been doing the right thing. You put all your waste in a bin for the right bodies to come and pick them. These days we have people who are into waste management that can turn that thing to money for you, but you will choose to go and carry it and put it in the drainages. During rainy season you start calling government. This thing is just about common sense. We should also be patriotic. We should do what we need to do. Government can solve all our problems.
Well, it's easy for us to say we need to be patriotic, but let's look at another story on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Windstorm kills 5, injures 3 in Bauchi. That story there. Labour Party crisis festers as Obi's supporters reject Abure's new directorate. Food inflation, consumers, traders lament as FCCPC visits Lagos markets. The prices of things in the markets is unspeakable.
Yes, we are still.
Recently, I heard that I heard of someone that bought 1 tuber of yam at 4,000 naira.
You see, another thing about our people is that, truthfully, there is inflation, but there are some things that you just see that this price is out of proportion. If you are not smart.
Well, sometimes sometimes when you trace those prices that seem disproportionate, you get to realize that there's something that's
if you had let me
causing that.
finish, you would have gotten what I'm trying to say here. Someone will just tell you, a trader might just tell you this thing costs 5,000. Especially it happens to women a lot, and you say 1,002. At the end of the day, you are buying that thing at 1,500. Of course, that 1,500 she's making her own profit too. So people will just leverage on this inflation and economic instability that we are going through to make more money illegally for themselves. You understand? We cannot override that fact that, of course, once there is inflation, there will be hiking prices of food and every other thing that we use. You understand? But we shouldn't be our own problem, adding unnecessary profit. So you bought this thing at 300 naira and you want to sell it for 2,000 naira. That's outrageous. Even though we are undergoing inflation, but the thing is, do we have the mind to do the right thing? Do we have the mind? Have you seen these guys that sell pepper on the streets? One bowl of pepper, they might call it for you 5,000. If you don't know how to price, you might end up buying it 3,000. But if you go inside the market, you get a bucket of that same pepper, a bucket, not a bowl now, for the same price.
Which pepper is that?
I am just saying. I'm telling you.
Is that the actual? Is that the actual?
And that's not the.
Or you're just
no. I'm just using the prices as examples.
Okay.
But as a woman that goes to the market every day, if you buy things from those people that comes out to buy, to sell, of course you are buying at the wrong price. But when you go inside, you see that it's not as bad.
Okay, so but what is the actual price now for a basket of pepper?
For the last one I bought it at about, I didn't buy basket, I bought buckets, and that's about 3 bowls put together, and it was around 3,700, and that's about 2 months ago.
Okay,
that I bought.
Is that price good to go, or
we're very buying at that? See, I am a realist. I don't know how to. We are in inflation. I know that I'm going to buy higher, but I know when you want to extort me, of course I will price. If you tell me something is 5,000 naira, I can't just give you 5,000.
Well, this is why the FCCPC are visiting the market.
Exactly,
to correct
prices and control prices. It's good.
2024 UTME JAMB rescheduled 24,535 candidates for supplementary exams. Releases 3,921. Saying that Nigeria, we have enough money to clear our debt. Why haven't we cleared them?
Exactly. He said that last week. It was on the papers. I was expecting that by this week we should hear
our debt ratio has almost gotten to 100 trillion naira. As a nation, how long? Where is all the money that we are making, all the money that this country is making, where is it going into? I think that is what is a plight of Nigerians. I always say this and I'm saying again. We
used to think that this administration is transparent because they were always giving reports, but I think the report that they have not given us is the increase we have in the IGR. What have they done
about the increase in IGR?
The one they saved from subsidies. What have they been doing about it? What have they been using it for? Moving on, we have on minimum wage. This is the Punch newspaper. On minimum wage, the Attorney General of the Federation tackles labours as National Assembly fails to stop strike. On the radar, we have AGF says planned strike violates court's order. Federal government insists on 60,000 naira. But let's see how it goes. June 12th is coming, and our president is going to give his speech. Let's see. Who knows? We might just get 150,000. CBN clears $830 million foreign airlines trapped funds. That's on page 20 of the Punch newspaper. Ex-worker accomplice kill Lagos businessman, steal 3.2 million naira. Wow. That's another thing.
Nigeria is becoming something else. Everybody just wants to make money and survive. This is not me in support of killing.
You kill someone that is supposed to be the breadwinner of their family. Well, why? Oh my goodness.
No, look at ex-worker, accomplice, kill Lagos businessman, steal 3.2 million. You get sometimes I understand where you're coming from. Okay, the businessman that was killed. But if you also look at the actual, because you know there are always two sides to a coin. There are always two parts of a story.
Of course, but not the aspect that I do not like.
There's no justification for killing.
You to kill. Yeah,
there are no justifications for killing, but when you look at some situations, you get to say somebody might look at this story now and say, why did you just steal the money alone
and leave the
man?
Why
did you have to kill him?
But you can't go into a business. But how did they penetrate and kill him in the first place?
They will have to find out on page 5 of the Punch
newspaper. 24,535 candidates to retake UTME June 2020, June 22. That's on the 22 of June.
Yeah.
Some people will be rewriting JAM. Wow.
Alright, let's have a look at the Daily Independent newspaper. Serap gave governors 7 days to disclose details of SIEC members.
If governor was a person, as in the federal government, if they were a human being,
Sarah would have called them to glory.
No. What I'm saying is, by now, this one is on you, that one is on you.
They are human beings. Well, of course, they are human beings.
No. They cannot. To me, I feel like they are superhuman, because though we expect them to do, and they know what they are going to get going into when they vie for that office. But the truth is that the heat on the federal government right now, if you are not strong as a leader, you can just collapse.
The heat that is on them right now is not the same heat that are on the masses. The heat on them is not a heat for survival.
It's a heat for what?
It's not a heat for survival.
It's not a heat for survival. It's a heat for
to make things
determination
better for
and
those.
actions.
It's a heat to make life better for those that are on the heat of survival.
Of course.
That's why they are there.
Of course.
Because check out all these governors, check out all these ministers, check out all these senators, their take home. Check out that they have, aside from their salaries that run into millions, they have newspaper allowance, they have wardrobe allowance, they have utility allowance, they have allowance for miscellaneous, they have allowance for transportation, they have feeding allowance, they have housing allowance, they have all these allowances that run into millions.
Their money is high, but most of these allowances, except for miscellaneous and some other things, civil servants has it too. But my point is that the federal government also, you know how much I want to be fair to everyone, side by side. Yes, don't look me with that. Don't give me that
because
no.
This is me talking about survival. And
yes,
you're telling me that
I will still no.
It's okay. Don't make it sound like we are not comparing the federal government to the masses.
But
let's be quite fair. Let's be quite honest.
We have always been fair to the citizens. We have been always fair because
greater is he that blessed. Greater is he that gives than he that takes. The lesser is blessed by the greater. The federal government is on the greater part of this country.
Of course.
The federal government, those are the helm of affairs, have more money. They have more freedom to spend and do whatever they like.
You are not even coming from where what I was actually. Please listen to me more. No, because you are not listening. Because you are not listening. No. I did not mention the people. The people are actually taking the heat of this inflation and these economic issues we are going through right now. But I'm also checking from. You see, if you have been in a cabinet that has to lead a project, you have the events going on now. You know the heat of what is on you right now to make things work. That is where I'm coming from. I'm not saying that the federal government is not owing the people. I am not saying that the people are wrong to ask for what they believe should be theirs. But what I'm checking from the point of, even the federal government has a lot on their ends to deal with. Please let me finish. Has a lot on their ends to deal with. That's one. Secondly, which means that they will have to see above the heat on ground. Because if they have to dwell on all this debt here, because every administration, this debt that we are talking about, it didn't accrue just from this administration. It has been a past thing, and now it has been accumulated. This federal government just have to sit down and have a lot of committees, people with head, people that are in the know, people that are well learned, that can handle these things. If they are going to put it on themselves alone, wow. I don't know how we're going to scale through, and at the end of the day we might just have more policies that won't work. That is where I'm coming from, that there are a lot of heat on them, so they have to take their time and make sure that they give us what works, because the noise alone is not enough if they are not going to give us what.
This present administration knew that heat was coming when they were
They
preparing to announce the removal of petrol subsidy.
No, not on the debt.
Did they prepare?
Not on
Come
the
on
debt.
now.
Not on the debt. They cannot tell me this is
on.
1 year debt now. This trillion of naira we are hearing is not 1 year debt. It's not in this administration. This is an accumulation of past administration monies that have been owed. These parastatals put together the one this administration might be owing and all. So that's what I'm saying. That okay, if you are going to do something as the federal government, you just have to calm down. They should, of course, I don't need to tell them they are leaders.
Did the federal government calm down before removing fuel subsidy?
See, you are still not seeing the point I am saying.
I see what you're saying.
You are not seeing it.
I see what you're saying.
And all these facts are there. We cannot override that. They have removed subsidy. But subsidy isn't the reason why most of these parastatals are being owed. Some of them, they have this debt on ground even before this administration. What I'm saying is that there are a lot of work for this administration to do. Truthfully, they removed the subsidy and now they are seeing the effect as inflation is on the rise. That they incurred by themselves. But most of these debt, Gencos having to get over trillions of naira, it can't be under this 1 year administration. It's an accumulation of what has been spent before. So I am just saying that, okay, putting myself in the shoes of a leader that has a lot to deal with, I have to calm down and set my priorities right. That does not mean that I do not owe my citizens.
Let's not talk about priorities. Shetima Fashola, Carpet TV legal analyst, okay, promoters of parliamentary system. Shetima Fashola, Carpet TV legal analyst, promoters of parliamentary system. NAS last-minute move failed to stop Labour's nationwide strike. NLC, TUC, industrial action premature. Illegal, federal government wants. Darkness, first scarcity loom as NUEE, NUPENG, others join. Aviation unions vow to shut down activities at all airports. Killing of 5 soldiers. Labour Party faults threats of overwhelming military onslaught on Abia. Urges intelligence gathering to fish out corporate. You can see what's going on in Abia State recently. It's a whole lot of havoc.
So why are they faulting the action to fish out people?
No, they're not faulting that action.
Okay,
you see,
the killing.
Normally, we've always seen reprisal attacks on the Nigerian army. You can't. I mean, it is an insult and it is a dent on Nigeria's sovereignty as a nation.
As a nation.
For you to attack and kill our military personnel. It is a crime. But we've also been seeing reprisal attacks from the Nigerian army.
An intentional attack so as to aggravate their pursuit for the Biafra agitation?
I doubt.
So why would they want to kill a Nigerian soldier when you know that it's going to cause you a lot of trouble?
Come on, was it an agitation that made the people in Okwama community to kill the soldier?
No,
it wasn't an agitation.
It wasn't an agitation. That has its own story. I am talking about this now.
Could not be.
This has gone past the issues of community. This is an agitation that has been ongoing. I am just asking a question that could it be a plight to instigate the federal government against the Biafra agitators, just to fuel what is on the ground? That okay, let's kill soldiers, maybe they will give us what we want, let's kill soldiers and see. I am just thinking that okay, could it be why they have killed these soldiers? Because they already know the consequences of their action, that once you kill a soldier, whatever crisis is going, there is a video of a lady I saw on the internet this morning. She said they live very close to the site where the soldiers were killed, and now soldiers have come to their house. They took a sick father, 70-year-old man, and the man was not treated right, and they took some of her siblings, and she does not know where those ones have been taken. This is what I'm talking about, that that when you go to extents like this, observe your peace, sit at home in peace, and let everybody move on. Why would you kill a soldier? Is it to what point were they trying to get? if not to instigate the Nigerian state against the supposed Biafra states that they are trying to get.
Electricity. Gencos urge federal government to pay debts. Zenith Bank recognized as most sustainable bank in Nigeria. Hardship. We warned Nigerians against voting APC. That's coming from Tamboa. Nigeria clears 98% of blocked funds, remaining $19 million. That's coming from the IATA. Jim, Chime, others extol Mba's 1-year record. Grab a copy of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper to get details of all the stories and much more.
And on that note, we go on a quick break. When we come back, the show continues. Well, staying tuned. Before we go to take the last paper, an event is coming up. If you are a lover of business, if you want to know more about business, the economy, how you can grow individually on whatever you do, especially the aspect of business orientation, come to the event of my dear colleague, co-host, my co-host, who former Peace Magege. The event is coming up on the 9th. Talk now.
I was waiting for you to finish.
On the 9th of June, this Sunday, particularly this Sunday. If you want details about this event, all you have to do is just go to his Instagram handle at Peace Magege. Now you can talk.
Finally, you're making it sound like you're the host of the event.
Of course, I am the host now.
Oh yeah, no.
You don't know what Yoruba call Abolo de Fellow do. Like your friend is doing something, you are the one doing it.
Yeah. Co-host.
Yeah.
Indeed. Alright, on the 9th of June, this Sunday to be precise, the Magege Peace Concept, a business brand, is going to be hosting first of its kind an entertainment youth empowerment event. This event is aimed at giving young professionals, young adults, business men and women insights into major aspects of their life. We're talking about leadership, public speaking, talking about networking and your career. We're talking about health and wealth. We're talking about technology. It's going to be 4 hours of electrifying entertainment and enlightening information, insights beyond your imagination. We're having the likes of Dr. Olumide Emmanuel, we're having the likes of Damilola Busari, the likes of Oluwatoyin Asada, Frederick Nnamdi, and the rest of them. Don't worry, just join us or follow me on Instagram and also social media platform at Peace Magege to get more details on how to register and be a part of the program.
Yes, and that is that on the event. The event starts at 2 p.m. right?
1 p.m. red carpet, 2 p.m. main event.
Main event. All right. So if you love red carpet, you should be there by 1 p.m. All right. The 1 p.m. is good for creative content creators who would like to show whatever it is that they want the world to see. Right now we're going to take the last paper, Vanguard. Okay, we have sport paper after that. now we'll read. If I don't read this sports paper, my director will finish me. So let's just take the Vanguard newspaper. And on the Vanguard newspaper, page 10 of it, Oando announces 74.7 billion profit after tax as turnover rises to 71%. The problem with Tinubu's misfiring leadership, that's coming from one of the analysts. You can get that. Nigeria must leverage on assets to affect forex inflow. I was talking to you about that this morning. The man Ayo Teriba was talking about refocusing on getting more assets, those ones that are already redundant, that government should look for a way to make sure that they are functioning and get good money on them. On minimum wage, few schools, banks, orders to be shut down as strike begins today. And again, the last side of the Vanguard newspaper, anxiety as government borrows 20.1 trillion naira under Tinubu's regime. Gencos cry out over 3.7 trillion naira debt. And we'll go to the last paper for today, the Punch Sports News.
Alright, coming out from the Nigerian Premier Football League, relegation threatens Sporting hold Rangers. Eagles begin training in Uyo as camp swells. You know, we are preparing for the World Cup qualifiers. I really do hope that, you know, Nigeria really was impressive at the CAF Confederation, the Nations Cup recently, and it was amazing. Balogun best defender in Scotland. Okay, still on the front page of Punch Sports Extra. Dortmund UCL final defeat hot Olise. Okay, Mbappe signs Madrid deal. This is going to take the current champions of Europe, Real Madrid, to a whole new level. Ancelotti hits at Cruz retirement U-turn. Finally, I know some people will be very happy.
That is no longer going to retire. The reason why he wants you to read this.
Final Brands unveil Mourinho as manager. Wow. Okay.
Unveils Mourinho as manager. I love Mourinho though.
What do you know about Mourinho?
Excuse me, Mourinho of Chelsea then. I told you before, you can talk now about football, and even though now I still try to get one or two, but then I was really engulfed. Ask me a question, I'll tell you.
Devour calls out Joshua after stunning win. Arsenal contact Barca over 17 million euros fine. Alcaraz Tsitsipas set off French Open quarter-finals clash. Wow. And that's what we can take on the front page of the Punch Sports Extra.
And on the final note this morning, don't forget that you are Nigerian. I will not forget that I am Nigerian. And the federal government also should know that they owe the populace an obligation. What we want is a better Nigeria, and that is not too much to ask. What I know is that I will do my part as a citizen. The government also should endeavor to do their part as a citizen, and we don't want this strike to go beyond the necessary weeks, at least 1 week at max. And the organized labor, the organized private sector should be willing to reach a reasonable consensus. And on that note, I say bye bye. You'll see me tomorrow on the show again, by God's grace.
Alright, it's a wonderful day for me as well. Do have yourself a peaceful day. Remember to follow us on all social media platforms at CACTV. Get your Moplex decoder so you can join us on channel 614 every day, every Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Do have yourself a peaceful day once again. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.